Over 1 year I have now been a part of this war. But apart from some enemy attempts at shelling the artillery battery where I was previously stationed, and a few flak shells shot into the sky around me since I started flying above the front, I have never been in the direct line of fire. Having an aircraft-mounted machine gun unload on me from just a few meters away and seeing the holes shot into my wing fabric was a horrifying experience. I left the aircraft with very shaky legs, completely sick to my stomach, and badly in need of a strong drink. There is a saying that one should immediately get back on a horse after being thrown off to avoid being afraid of it later. But I didn't get the chance to do this. The next day, bad weather set in that barred us from flying for a week. In that time, I celebrated my birthday, played a lot of cards and chess, and talked at length with the other members of the squadron, which was very good to take my mind off things. One day Hauptmann Büchner came up to me and asked me to tell him more about my experiences with the Fokker Eindecker. My first taste of flying a single-seater came in pilot training, when I had the chance to fly during my brief stay at Martincourt. Since the engine of my Aviatik couldn't be repaired, I was picked up the next day by a driver and brought back to Maubeuge, where a new training aircraft was assigned to me. I had to do one more flight before my basic training was over. I celebrated the end of the flight by diving on a supply convoy traveling along the road. My transfer orders were already waiting for me. I would be transferred to Feldfliegerabteilung 1, or FFA 1 in short. The Field Flyer Detachment 1 is based in Düsseldorf, Germany, and is where I would receive advanced training. Just a few days later, I found myself flying an Aviatik C-type over the Rhine. As the instructors put it, I had learned how to fly a plane. Now I would learn how to be useful with it. I had to learn to fly and work with an observer. His presence increased the weight of the aircraft. What also increased the weight of the aircraft was the presence of his 2 machine guns. Since the observer in the Aviatik C-type is sitting in the front, his machine guns don't have good fields of fire. They are restricted by the wiring harness, by the struts and by the wings. And by me. That's why often 2 machine guns are installed, to give the observer the opportunity to defend the aircraft, regardless of which direction the enemy comes from. Flying over the great urban sprawl of the Ruhr area, we trained navigation, observation and spotting. I was sure that it wouldn't be long before I received transfer orders to a frontline unit. Unfortunately, the weather in October brought a lot of rain and also storms, frequently grounding all planes. The training was severely delayed by this. However, the training unit does possess a Fokker E2 one-seater. After a lot of pleading and a bottle of champagne gifted to the command of the flight school, I finally persuaded the instructors to let me fly it. They were surprised that I already knew my way around the aircraft, and finally believed me that I had indeed flown a Fokker already. They wanted, of course, to know who had been careless enough to give a novice pilot access to such a machine. But I, not wanting to get him into any trouble, refused to disclose the name. It is such a privilege to climb through a gap in the clouds, out of the grey and rainy weather below, into bright sunshine above. Very few people are lucky enough to experience this, and I cherished every second of it. Also, having a lot of height available if I should stall the plane, I began to try my hand at stunting. I managed to put the plane through a roll. It is indeed marvelously agile. Unfortunately, this was seen by the instructors on the ground, and as soon as I landed, I lost my privilege of flying the plane. They softened the blow by saying that I'm showing talent for flying it, but that they really didn't want more young pilots to die under their care. I asked the commander of the flight school for a private talk, and confessed to him that, while they were training me as a 2-seater pilot, I would very much like to fly one-seaters. I was told in no uncertain terms that on the front, these planes are only assigned to experienced pilots. They are too valuable, and flying them is very dangerous. After all, the two-seater flees from an enemy pursuit plane, while the Fokkers are expected to rush to his defense and engage the pursuit planes in deadly fights. He assured me that he would try to put in a good word for me, but that I first needed to prove my worth as a frontline pilot. I thanked him and continued my training in the Aviatik. In particular, I enjoyed the next flight, where we flew low through the valleys and over the hills of the Sauerland, which is to the east of Düsseldorf. I didn't know that back at the flight school, my transfer orders were waiting for me. So at the end of October, I found myself at an airfield in Flanders near Douai. I had been transferred to FFA 62. And so you ended up with us, Hauptmann Büchner said. Well, we are certainly glad to have you. I was impressed that you turned back to help Hess escape the second Newport. Your interference might have saved his life. Most other Aviatik pilots would have simply fled from the area, especially after having their own aircraft shot up like you did. Our work is a very dangerous one. You know that now all too well. I hope your next flights will be less eventful. And indeed, they were. On the 19th, the 23rd and 25th, the weather had improved just enough that we could take off for reconnaissance flights, but we did not encounter any enemy planes. Apparently the English were smarter than we were. Due to the low clouds, our recon efforts were fruitless. Photography was very difficult, and our pictures were of no use whatsoever. The enemy flag gunners, probably very excited to see an aircraft again, had a vigorous go at us whenever we passed the gap in the clouds. It was all just a waste of time and fuel. But this changed on the 29th. Hello there, and welcome to a new episode of our amazing Wings Over Flanders Fields campaign, where we are playing as the German pilot Felix von Berg, based in Douai in Flanders, flying an Aviatik two-seater for FFA 62. Today we have a mission ahead of us where we are going out in some strength. As you can see, we will be escorted by 3 Fokker pilots, and we'll be 2 Aviatiks going out, so I wonder what kind of mission they have for us. But first of all, it is now the 29th of November 1915. A lot of time has passed since the last episode, which was on the 11th of November. What happened? Well, let me show you. If we go to the missions flown, we have on the 11th of November the infamous mission that we have flown in the previous episode, where we got jumped by 2 French Nieuports and shot up, absolutely riddled with bullets. Somehow we managed to survive that unhurt and managed to bring the very much hurt plane back to the airfield. But that was a very, very close call. By all rights, we should have died there. Somehow we got out. And well, if you have not watched that episode, I suggest you do so, because you're missing out. Also make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Just saying. Right, since then we had a long spell of bad weather. I also took a leave of 2 days that was offered to me. Then on the 19th we have flown a reconnaissance mission, where we had to take a few notes, drop them off at the frontline headquarters. We did that, however none of the notes were usable. Again a little bit of bad weather. We flew then on the 23rd of November, a photo reconnaissance mission. Unfortunately, once again the weather was not really that great, visibility was kinda bad, and none of the photos were usable. And then on the 25th of November, we flew another mission, and with pretty much the same result. So we have accumulated some flight time, and have 3 more missions in our book here, but without any real good results. So maybe we can make up for that today. Today on the 29th. Did you miss any news articles? Probably you did, but we'll go over that after the mission. For now, I'm really curious to see what they have in store for us. We are flying in the afternoon, this is interesting. Partial or scattered clouds, so visibility might once again be a little bad. Let's see. And our mission is photo reconnaissance. We are to fly over the region and take photographs of true positions and movements. Our destination is the enemy's front sector of the Canadian 1st Division, distance 14 miles. They suggest that we fly at an altitude of about 2,800 meters. First of all, let's have a quick look where... Oh, okay. Now I get it why we are going out in strength. We are going to Vimy Ridge. Yeah, of course, that's where the Canadians are, just on the north side of it. And we are going there. Right, let's adjust the waypoint here. We'll circle up over here and then we'll fly to there. I don't want to fly south first. And make sure that we do not forget the camera. He's gonna take flares. We don't need that much fuel, so I'm gonna reduce his fuel too. And that should be alright. If we have a look at who's going with us, it will be Unteroffizier Ernst Griener with his observer. He is a pretty good pilot, above average morale, excellent skills, 41 missions flown, a true veteran. And in Kette 1, the Fokkers, Max Büchner and Ernst Hess in their Fokker E1s, and then Max Immelmann in his E2. All excellent pilots. So, is there anything else to do right now? No, I don't think so. I think we just go ahead and fly the mission. And see how this one goes. I hope that today we'll take some good photos. Advance our career a little bit. So let's go to the field and take off. Well, yeah, starting the engine. And we'll follow him. Let's go. Throttle up. The Fokkers will follow soon, of course. Off we go. So, I immediately noticed that there are a lot of clouds. That's bad. The weather is really not our friend lately. November has been a really bad month when it comes to the weather. Yeah, I gotta say that. Are the Fokkers following? Yes, they are. Good. Oh, wait, lost line of sight to my body. Ah, there he is. Okay. Gotta get into formation here. Let's adjust the mixture. There it was, and now pull back the throttle. And we are gonna cruise along like this. Excellent. Yeah, lots of clouds. Lots and lots and lots of clouds. It's kinda bad, to be honest. This is not great, but maybe over Vimy Ridge there will be a nice gap in the clouds. It's possible. But first of all, we are gonna turn around in a moment, fly back there to our circle up waypoint, and we'll go from there. We'll then go from there. So for now, I'll put a cut into the video, and we'll resume this once I am a little bit closer. Welcome back. We are now almost above the front line. I'm ready to start taking the pictures, but... actually there's a gap in the clouds, okay. I thought we had a serious problem here on our hands, but it's okay. We have a gap in the clouds, that's alright. Okay. Go ahead, keep it steady. Look for enemy positions. There they are. Take the picture. Continue to keep it steady. No sudden movements. Okay. That worked. The others, they are now commencing a circle, giving me some protection here, which is very nice. And so I can just fly back and forth now and take a few pictures. So that's exactly what I'll be doing. A little bit of back and forth flying, taking some pictures of the enemy positions down there. So, I'll put a little cut into the video, and we'll continue this once I'm maybe almost done with the photographs. Welcome back. I have just spotted something. Airplane from our left side. Is that? That's a French two-seater. Okay, we are gonna go hunting. A nice opportunity. A French two-seater over the lines. I don't know if my buddies have spotted this thing yet, but we are gonna take a crack at it. Now, this is a no, I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation. This is a French quadrant. And the observer is sitting in the front, and he has pretty much the same problem that we have, that he can't engage very well to the rear. So let's try to exploit this by coming up behind it. Where did it go? There it is. There it is. Okay. I'll try to come up below it. Yeah, Otto is getting ready. The problem is that giving Otto a firing angle is not easy. The machine gun needs to clear the propeller. Otto is shooting controlled bursts, and some bullets are hitting. Excellent. He's doing some evasive maneuvers, but he's not able to give his gunner a good field of fire. While I am. His gunner is behind the engine, from my point of view. So he really has a problem here. Get him, Otto. I have to make sure that I don't go too deep into enemy territory. Okay, this is now where I need to dive a little bit, because the gunner might get a shot at me otherwise. Okay, can't get you closer than this. Yeah, he's shooting at me now.
Need to dive again. Need to make sure that I'm not giving him a field of fire. This is air combat before the fighters started to enter the battlefield. This was it basically, two-seaters shooting at each other in clumsy efforts to avoid death. Okay. Turn around sharply. Don't want to be in the line of sight of his gunner. I'm getting flagged now. He's trying to fly away. We are following. Otto still has many bullets and he's trailing something. Is that fuel? Possibly. Otto, do you still have bullets? Yes, you do. Pull that throttle back. I'll try to stay in this position. Just give Otto a good line of fire here. Otto is shooting short bursts, trying to hit the crew. And I think he has already hit the pilot because he did make some evasive maneuvers, but he stopped that. I'm getting deep into enemy territory, I don't like that. Otto, you need to dispatch this guy a bit sooner. Rather than later. Just lay into him. There we go. That's a kill. Turn around, get out of here. Damn, you're bloodthirsty. That's a Quadron going down. Now I have another little problem. First of all, I'm a little bit deep behind enemy lines. Deeper than I wanted to be. And who is gonna confirm this? Who's gonna be my witness for this kill? Yeah, that might be an issue. Otto, do you see somebody? That's a decided no. I distanced myself from my buddies. Looks like I was the only one who went after this guy. Maybe the others didn't see him. So... oh, I think he just infected. I'm above a balloon. I have to get out of here. There's a balloon down there. Where was it? I saw a balloon. There. Down there's the balloon. Okay, we are flying east, getting back to our own lines. I still can take 2 more photos. That's nice. I guess I'm gonna do that. Now I wonder, maybe this enemy plane wasn't alone. Maybe there was another one. And my other guys went after that one. I'm not sure. But I shot down one, and I'm gonna claim this one. And maybe, if we are lucky, maybe somebody can be my witness. Because if no witness can confirm your claim, then it will be rejected. That's just how it goes. Oh, also, by the way, where are we? There's a town there. We are... I think we pretty much flew west from the position where we were supposed to be. And there is a balloon on the map. So that there must be the tune. So the enemy plane went down near that balloon. I'm gonna mention that I brought it down southeast of Bethune. And now I'm just... What's that? Engine trouble. Oh no. That's bad. Okay, if we are there, nearest airfield, can we make it back to Dubai? We can try. So from here I should fly about 120 or so degrees to get back to Douai. Am I above our lines? Yeah, I am. I think I'm safe. I can glide the rest of the way. If the engine seizes up. I'm not sure if I got hit in the engine or if it is just failing now, randomly. But I'm very glad that it didn't happen a few minutes earlier, because that would have been bad. Also, you guys might have noticed maybe that the graphics look a little bit worse, particularly the anti-aliasing. I tried to change some settings in the basically deep in the NVIDIA drivers, and it looks like I have to revert some of those settings, because I noticed that the anti-aliasing looks much worse than it used to. So sorry for that. I'm gonna fix that, don't worry. It will look better again next time. But yeah, now we have other problems. I need to get back to the airfield urgently. Otto did a good job. Otto did a real good job. Otto, do you maybe see one of our friends? No, you do not. Shit. I know how this is gonna end. I will claim that quadrant and nobody will be able to confirm it. Maybe I shouldn't have followed it that deep into enemy territory. But that's actually an important lesson for the future. Don't go into enemy territory chasing after an enemy completely on your own. That's just a recipe for dying. It's really a recipe for disaster. So better not do that. I'm very much over the lines. Well, I still see mud down there, but we'll soon be clear of it. We are soon gonna be clear of it. Our heading is good, but it's really a big question if we are gonna make it all the way to Douai or not. Especially with these clouds limiting my visibility. So, and I also really have to hope that nothing else is gonna intercept me right now. Because with this engine, I'm not escaping from anybody. Revs are holding for now. Yes, for now they're holding. For now they're indeed holding. I just really hope my engine doesn't blow up in my face. Or, well, in Otto's face. Otto, how is it looking up there? Well, engine seems good. It's still turning. And the machine gun still has bullets. If I wanted to, I could fly. I could fly from an observer's point of view. That's doable. But being a pilot and having a good observer like Otto here is much better. Still on my heading? Yes. I think I've left the mud behind me now. No, I still see the mud below me. We should be coming to the edge of it though. But because we are flying... Oh well, not really. That's just what you see here on the map, what you see as the front line on the map, the shelled region. It's not actually representative of what you see out here. Out here, the shelled and destroyed region is much bigger than it is on the map here. Lens is basically completely inside it. So I shouldn't be too surprised. Ah, well, we are out of it. Okay. There's green below me. Good. I need to orient myself. Where the hell am I? I need to find Dwyer. Looking behind me. I'm trying to find Lance. Well, I see a road. Surely that road... Ah, there! There's the city. Inside the mud. That's Lance. Right there below the cloud. So, from Lance, we are flying pretty much east-southeast. So from here I should strive to fly southeast. And I should be on track to reach Dwyer. I'll stay high for now, just for a few minutes more, just in case that my engine seizes. I want to be able to glide as far as possible. It's a shame that we still have plenty of fuel on board. The aircraft isn't as light as I would like it to be under the circumstances. Revs are... I think revs are going down slowly. Let me increase the mixture a little bit. We might be dropping some altitude already. I need to compensate for that. Give the engine a bit more juice. So, by the way, how did you like the intro today? Did you like the taste of the Eindecker that you saw in the previous intro and today's one? I'm gonna give you a hint. It's not gonna be too long before we get to fly it for real on the front lines. It won't be long before we leave this big old bus here behind us and get into a nice fog-up and hunt enemy planes over the front lines. That's gonna come soon, and I'm sure that's gonna be amazing. That's really gonna be amazing. This engine is great. It's holding very long. Lance is just below me. We are slow. We are very slow indeed. One more left. Like so. Still haven't seen anybody else. Don't know where the others went, if they just headed home. Or maybe they engaged a second aircraft that I didn't see. I think that's actually what happened. Because otherwise they would still be on station. I guess. I don't know, but I guess so. They must have engaged another airplane that I didn't see. Yeah, probably. What else is new? What else is going on? Well, last time, was it last time? I think it was. I recommended a book to you that I've read, and a very, very good book. Poilu, the First World War, basically from the perspective of a French infantry soldier. A very gripping tale. There are other books that I can recommend to you. Because, well, when I decided I'm gonna do this campaign, well, of course I started to read. I like reading, so I started to read. And here are some books that I read. I read oh, how is it called? Written by Richthofen. His book. His autobiography. Der rote Kampfflieger. So, The Red Fighter. By Manfred Richthofen. It was an alright read. Obviously, he's not a writer. And the book kind of ends a little bit abruptly, which is, well, no wonder, because he died. But it was still an interesting read. Even though I have to say, it seems kinda obvious to me that he wrote those memoirs in anticipation of releasing them to the public and let's say, embellishing his own already considerable fame a little bit more. And so he is not at all critical of the war. Not at all. It seems to me that he really intended this book to be published after Germany wins the war and everybody's happy and nobody wants to hear anything bad. It really has that feel to it, if you know what I mean. Oh man, this engine is just chugging. By the way, we are not going down. I just reduced the throttle and we are sinking beneath the cloud because I need to find my airfield and I should be getting kinda close to... Oh, that's oil. The engine is not having a good time. Let's look for our airfield while there's still time. I would like to land at the airfield, not in a field somewhere. But engine is not sounding good. Wait, there's Lens. There's the road from Lens to Douai. Airfield, where are you? I could follow that road, but I have a feeling that the airfield... There it is! I had a feeling it should be right below me. Okay, since the engine is now spewing hot oil onto us, I'm actually gonna turn it off. Pull the mixture back all the way, pull the throttle back all the way. Magnetos are off. We are gliding in. I know where the airfield is. We should be able to glide this in. It's safer right now than to keep the engine running. It might just detonate in our faces. And that would be very bad for our health. So I'm just gonna try to glide it in. Yeah, it's still turning over due to our speed. But that's gonna stop as we are coming in. I want to take a look at the windsock if I can. Okay, the wind is coming from this direction. We were actually flying into the wind all the time. I should try to approach it from that direction there. Yeah, okay. The propeller is now slowly coming to a stop. Okay. Coming in nicely. Coming in very nicely. It's still alright. Let's pick up a bit of speed. And then we are gonna turn around and come in for the landing. I have to clear these trees there. Then I'm good. If I can manage to clear these trees, everything's gonna be alright. Okay. Turning. While it's still pointing the nose down. Just turning in onto the field here. Gently. And we're coming in with quite a lot of speed, but we are gonna bleed that very fast. This is looking very good. Flare. Flare, flare, and a little bounce, bounce, bounce. And we're down. We made it. The plane came to a stop. Nice. We made it. My goggles are completely oil splashed. Actually, I didn't come into the wind too well. But it was alright. Now, do I see any trace of my guys? No. Either they are still out there, or they went to another airfield. I'm pretty sure I'm at Douai. Because this very much looks like Douai here. Let's take a look at our airplane from outside, just to verify that we didn't receive any damage. But no, I don't see any bullet holes at all. We look absolutely fine. Marvelous. Okay. let's go to the briefing, to the debrief, and see if any of those pictures that we took are good, and if this claim will be approved or rejected. And there we are. Otto fired 272 rounds, hit with 62 of those. Nice. We flew for 64 minutes. Must fight on, get ready for the next sortie, yes, yes, yes. My observer is relieved, I am too. My aircraft was moderately damaged and it will take 2 days to repair it. Yeah, the engine. We managed to take several good photographs, nice. Our airfield has sustained some damage, yeah, it's always damaged. Okay, let's see. 2 aircraft reached the designated patrol area, that's my aviatic and the other one. But no, I don't know what happened to them, maybe we'll see it here. They're actually still in the air. Okay. They are still in the air. They did apparently not engage anybody. So it looks like I was the only one who saw that quadrant and went immediately after it. Let's take a look at this claim that we are gonna make. Now who's gonna be my witness? I think I'm gonna nominate Krina, the other aviatic pilot. And the aircraft will be a Quadron G4. Let me just type out a nice little story here, a nice little narrative for what happened. Okay, here's the narrative. While taking photographs over the target region, we spotted a French Quadron G4 approaching along the front lines from the south. We immediately abandoned our efforts to take more photographs and went after the enemy aircraft. The Quadron turned west and attempted to flee from the area. I managed to get our aircraft into a position below and to the, well, let me write it, left side of the enemy plane, allowing my observer, Otto, to shoot at it with his machine gun. He hit the enemy plane with many good bursts. Finally, the enemy's left wing sheared off and the plane plunged down in a steep spiral towards the ground. The Quadron crashed near an enemy observation balloon southeast of Bethune. Let's confirm this claim. And let's now take a quick look at the recon pictures. 3 good plates, nice! We took 3 good photos. I'm happy with that. So, even if that aircraft does not get confirmed, this was a successful flight. Let's hit done and see what happens. I'm curious to see what happens. It is now December the 2nd. The enemy must be as tired as we are with this never-ending mayhem, but we must continue. The Loos-Vimy Ridge and Champagne battles are still waging on in the regions of Flanders and Marne. The Battle of Loos-Vimy Ridge is approximately 14 miles away. We are so close that we are permanently on edge. Be extremely careful out there, and if hit, always strive to get back over friendly lines before trying to find a suitable landing spot. It's currently quite dangerous out there, and losses have been high. The air war has been dubbed the Fokker Scourge. Viel Glück. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Nothing yet. So our claim is neither confirmed nor denied. It's still being investigated. It's pending. You are currently awaiting confirmation of claims. More details are available in the claims section of your pilot dossier. To access your dossier at any time, press the View Pilot button, blah blah blah. Yeah. Witness was flying at a... Okay. We'll see. Here's my narrative that I wrote. We are gonna see. So it might take... Sometimes it takes a few days for the commission to decide if your claim will be approved or not. That's just how it works. But a successful mission nonetheless. 29th of November, and now it's already the 2nd of December and we have bad weather. Yeah, I'm not gonna fly in this. We're not gonna fly today. No chance. Now, before we end today's episode, let's review the mission. Let's select all air units. I want to have a good little knowledge of what happened in the air. I'm assigned and I take off. We are all taking off from Douai. Flying over there, going to circle up. More aviatics are starting from Fallenpar. German entrenched troops up here take hits from a new port. They were strafing ground troops. And yeah, that's a really terrible idea, because they then got shot down by said ground troops. More new ports become airborne, Caudrons become airborne. Maybe these are the ones that we are gonna meet later. Let me zoom out. Where are they starting from? Somewhere back here. Yeah, it's possible. It's to the south of where we were. We are circling up. Another new port goes down on the front lines. We've completed our circle up thing. New ports are going after an observation balloon down here. And I'm taking my first recon photo. Turning around, taking my second recon photo. Turning around, taking my third recon photo. New ports are going after another observation balloon. And then I spot that thing and we start to go after it. Let me zoom into that area now. So here we are. My rounds hit the Caudron. We continue the chase and it finally goes down right over here. So indeed, southeast of Bethune. Very nice. And from there, we noticed that something's wrong with our engine and we started to fly back home. And there we are, landing at Douai. And that was the mission. Oh wow. What a flight. I was already wondering, why are we not seeing more enemy two-seaters over the front lines? And well, will you look at that? Suddenly there is one. Excellent. I'm very happy with that. Where's the button for the news? I would like to have a look at that. Maybe if I go to the intel room really quick and back. No, it's not here. Let me go to the main menu and back. It should really be there. By the way, we have flown 15 missions. That's a lie. We have to subtract those that were in the training. So we have flown 10 missions over the front lines. I think so, yeah. I think it was 5 missions that we have flown in Germany. So 10 missions over the front line. Total flying time over the front line, we have to subtract 8 hours. So we have 11 hours over the front lines. That's actually really good. In addition, you have survived more than the average 17 hours of expected combat flying time. Well, not quite. I still need 6 hours to achieve that. Keep a sharp lookout. Oh boy. Let's have a quick look at the news. Yeah, there it is. Let's go back because you missed a few articles. You missed this one. No, you have seen this one actually. Did you? 14th of November. Maybe you didn't. Okay. Night bombing of rail bridge. Last night saw a demonstration of the potential of aircraft to cut enemy supply lines far in the rear of the front lines. Flying a BE-2C, Royal Naval Air Service Flight Commander J.R.W. Smith Piggott made a daring night bombing attack on a rail bridge along the Berlin to Constantinople Railway at the Maritsa River in the Ottoman Empire. He dropped bombs from an altitude of 300 feet, 91 meters, but the bridge was not destroyed. Nevertheless, his attempt has shown the potential of such attacks, and there's talk that he may be recommended for the Distinguished Service Order for Gallantry. Yeah, with the size of the bombs that they used at that time, it's no wonder that the bridge didn't go down. Next article from the 19th of November. Growing menace to Entente flyers. German squadrons continue to receive Fokker E-2 scouts, and the E-2 will soon be overtaken by even larger numbers of E-3 machines that are now being produced. More and more of these deadly hunting machines are in the air along the front every week, making life increasingly dangerous for the Entente air crews, who must continue to carry out daily reconnaissance patrols despite the risk. By the way, don't mind the text up here, the tank, well, there are no tanks yet, of course. This is just randomly selected text in the headline here. But this is good news. More Fokkers are coming to the front, and as I said, maybe we'll soon have one for ourselves. We'll see. But more Fokkers are arriving. 24th of November. Battle of... oh, fuck me. Battle of Ctesiphon? In the Iraqi desert, General Townsend's advance along the Tigris River toward Baghdad has been halted. An Ottoman army that was dug in across the river valley could not be dislodged, and Townsend's British Indian forces have taken heavy casualties in the 3-day battle. Townsend is retreating now with the Ottoman army in close pursuit. And then, from the 28th of November, losses of Entente aircraft rise. As the numbers of German Eindeckers operating along the Western Front grows, so do aircraft losses of the Entente. It seems hardly a day goes by now without a report of a downed British or French aircraft somewhere along the line. The Allies seem to have few answers to this growing crisis and appear prepared to simply absorb the losses for now, which they indeed did try to do. They kept flying despite the danger, which was very brave but also very foolish, and many of them got shot down. But that was it. Those were the news articles that were released until now. What a mission! This was fun. This was really fun. Who knows what we'll get into next time? Maybe... I mean, I'm not gonna spoil it too much. I mean, it's not gonna be too much longer before we have a chance to fly a Fokker. I know that already. The question is, will we have more encounters before we get to that point? That's really the question. Maybe next episode you will already see me in a Fokker. That's possible. But we'll see next time. For now, I want to thank you very much for watching today's episode. I do hope you have enjoyed this look at observation aircraft fighting. As it was before the fighters came in, were armed with machine guns that could fire forward. This was really quite interesting. So, once again, thank you very much. I hope you're looking forward to the next episode. Until then, have some really great days and goodbye.